We're joined today by Shaun Bunn, Managing Director of Empire Metals. Shaun, thanks for your time.
You're welcome, David.
Empire's developing what conceivably could be one of the largest titanium projects in the world, only 300 kilometres from Perth. How did you find it, and why is this project so significant?
Yeah, this is a really exciting project. This is a giant titanium mineral system. It sits in a sedimentary basin, just as we said, north of Perth. We were actually looking for copper initially. It was a part of a portfolio we put together. But the first drill holes, and now we've drilled 200 of these, have been hitting titanium mineralisation, all the way from surface to end of hole.
As I said, 300 kilometres from Perth. How's the infrastructure and how's the topography where you're operating? Is it an easy place to do business?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, this is farmland. It's basically part of what we call the Midwest wheat belt region. Interesting enough, there's already some big mining operations in the area. A talc mine that's been operating near Three Springs. That's the nearest town to us. That's been there for about 80 years operating. There's a project at Eneabba, which is about 40 kilometres to our west. That's run by Iluka, big mineral sands company. They're investing something like $1.6 billion in infrastructure for a rare earth cracking plant. So we're operating in an area that's close to rail, close to port, has high voltage systems already running right through the tenements. There's a gas pipeline that comes from the northwest shelf all the way down to the southwest. That runs only 30-40 kilometres to our west. So we have all the infrastructure already in place for a giant mining operation.
As you said, this ore body is sedimentary hosted, which is very different to the rest of the titanium market. Why is that an opportunity?
Yeah, so 95% of the world's titanium, whether it's a pigment or a metal, comes from a mineral called ilmenite. So ilmenite's generally found in beach sands or minerals, what we call mineral sands deposits. It's an igneous source rock. It's been broken down by the action of the waves or the rivers. Sometimes it's mined as a hard rock mine, which is what happens at the moment in places like Canada and Norway. But the fundamental issue with ilmenite is it's an iron titanium oxide mineral, and the iron in the mineral is difficult to extract and very expensive. The industry would much rather get titanium dioxide minerals like rutile or anatase as their feedstock. So what we've discovered within our big mineral system is the top 40 to 60, 80 metres from surface is already been converted to titanium dioxide by Mother Nature. It's just simply weathered over time. So our minerals are already titanium dioxide in situ, and they're clean. They're free of any contaminants. So there's no uranium, no thorium, no chromes, these heavy metals that can contaminate the final products.
Talking about product, I assume the industry, because it is a different style of ore body, wants to know, can you make a product out of it? Now you've ticked that box this year and looking to expand that further.
Yeah, well, look, we're really excited by how we've been able to progress the project. It was 18 months ago when we first started drilling. In that period of time, we identified this weathered zone. We brought samples from that zone into the laboratories over the last few months, and in the space of 3 months, we've tested our flow sheet and made our first semi-finished product. Now we've got a little bit more work to do to further refine it, but we came out at about 92% TiO2 in our first compounds. So very close to being able to get to pigment quality product.
And is the plan from here to produce more, refine more, and then start talking to potential partners?
Yeah, I think that's the way forward. We've got a number of big tasks ahead of us. We plan to go back with our drill rigs in the next few months and drill out the resource, get more confidence in the situation and what's in the ground. But at the same time, we're going to continue to push bulk samples through our metallurgical development. So we brought back about 50 tonne of bulk sample from our last drilling. We're upscaling our test work, and we're going to make a lot bigger sample, a lot bigger product sample, and from that I can start to go to the end users. So we're targeting a very high grade, very pure titanium dioxide product, and that is what we'll be taking out to the market over the next few months.
For Empire and its shareholders, what are some of the key milestones? Clearly that's one of them, but what are some of the other key milestones investors should be focusing on?
So 2024, just looking backwards for a second, was a huge year for us. You know, discovery, understanding the minerals that we have in the ground, designing a flow sheet, testing that flow sheet. 2025 is about removing a lot of the risks that we have to work our way through the resource definition. We have to get the product specs out to the market. So we mentioned those two, but we're going to move forward with the upscaling of the test work and ultimately look to put a pilot plan in place, you know, probably early next year to test the process, demonstrate the product, and then take this to a final study level.
From a titanium point of view, we're seeing a lot of geopolitical tailwinds that are driving not only the interest in the commodity, but the interest in the development of a project in a tier 1 jurisdiction. Why is that, and how big do you think that opportunity is?
Yeah, the titanium's on the critical minerals list or materials list for the US, for Australia, for Europe. And there are multiple reasons for that. Its end use is predominantly in aerospace, it's in defence industries, it's half the weight of steel, but yet as equally and strong, and it doesn't corrode. So it has these really important value adds. Now, China is the most dominant producer of titanium metal and most of the pigment. Russia was a close second for a while there, but with the sanctions they've been sort of cutting back. And Japan is the only, if you like, Western supplier of note that we can look to. So a titanium project developing a pathway to metal located in Australia, will attract federal government funding.
A world-class project in a tier 1 jurisdiction with clear direction and focus on how to move it forward and attract the right partners. Exciting times ahead for Empire and its shareholders. Shaun, thanks for your time.
Yeah, no, thank you.